Welcome to Vanijja. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic for anyone thinking about international trade, the beginner's guide to import and export licenses. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, and whether you're starting a small e-commerce business or managing global supply chains, understanding these legal permission slips is step one. Have you ever heard the saying, no license, no loading? Failure to comply with international trade rules can lead to massive fines, your cargo getting stuck at port, or even worse, total payment failure. But don't worry, we're here to prevent that. The biggest challenge beginners face is figuring out which documents they need and when they need them. It's the complexity of customs and financial regulations that often scares people away. This video will simplify those challenges. Our goal today is to make these concepts easy to digest. By the end of this video, you will have a clear, step-by-step understanding of the licenses required for both import and export, and you'll know the critical compliance checklist to ensure your goods move smoothly across borders. Here's our roadmap. First, we'll define the core concepts of licenses. Then we'll dive into export controls, move on to import responsibilities, and finally, look at our pro tips and an expert compliance checklist. So what are import and export licenses? Think of them as permission slips issued by a government. They are legal documents that grant you, the business owner, the right to move specific goods into or out of a country. Now that we have a grasp on the definition, let's see how it applies to the seller's side. Export licenses and controls. These are mandates from the exporting country's government to regulate what leaves their borders. Governments enforce export controls for two main reasons: economic stability, ensuring local markets aren't depleted of essential goods, and national security, ensuring sensitive technology doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Control is exercised in three key scenarios: general oversight to maintain economic equilibrium, control over strategic goods like firearms or military equipment, and total or partial bans on exports to sanctioned destinations. This leads us directly to a critical concept in export law, the dual-use rule. This is a common area for compliance mistakes, so pay close attention. Dual-use goods are commercial items that have a potential military application. Think of high-speed computer chips or certain chemicals. They are designed for civilian use, but could be weaponized. Because of dual-use risks, the buyer must provide an end-user statement, sometimes called a beneficiary certificate. This is a formal, written promise detailing the intended use of the goods and legally prohibiting their onward sale to unauthorized parties. Now, let's flip the coin and look at import licenses, the buyer's side, and the financial obligations involved when goods enter a country. In standard trade practice, the buyer holds the primary responsibility for local compliance. This includes securing the necessary import licenses and, critically, the timely payment of all applicable tariffs and duties. For any license application, you must provide a pro-forma invoice, often called a provisional invoice. This document must describe the goods in granular detail. Why? To ensure accurate classification for customs and tariff calculation. Here's an insider point: currency reservation. When an import license is granted, local exchange authorities may reserve the exact amount in foreign currency needed for the payment. This ensures the buyer has the liquidity to complete the transaction. Now for a critical pro tip that can save you thousands: the wait and verify rule. This falls under the timing category of our compliance checklist. If you, the seller, know an import license is required on the buyer's side, you must wait for that license to be officially granted before shipping. Remember the mantra: no license, no loading. Shipping prematurely is a huge risk. It often leads to severe transit delays through customs, heavy storage fees known as demurrage, or worst of all, total payment failure if the buyer's bank can't release the reserved currency without the validated permit. To wrap up the compliance section, let's go over our expert compliance checklist, focusing on three areas: documentation, liability, and timing. First, documentation. Ensure your provisional invoice matches the physical goods and packaging exactly. Even minor discrepancies can flag your shipment at customs. Second, liability. Make it explicitly clear in your sales contract that the buyer is responsible for all local import compliance and tariff payments. Don't leave this to chance. And finally, timing. Before those goods cross the ship's rail, verify you have the physical copy or digital code of the license. Say it with me. No license, no loading. Congratulations! You now have a solid foundation in the world of import and export licenses, from the dual-use concept to the wait and verify rule. You are ready to start trading with confidence and compliance. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Vanijja for more clear, methodical guides on global trade. Leave any questions or comments about your own trade experiences below. Thank you for watching.